Shipping artwork stinks. So I've been doing art for about 3 years now, and shipping finished artwork is the least enjoyable, the most frustrating, and the most stressful part of my work. You see, I put my heart into every painting, and when it's all done, I have to relinquish all control and hand it over to some shipping company that sees my artwork as just another box in a sea of boxes, probably full of late-night online shopping binges. But for the clients who support my work, I have to find a way. You see, it doesn't matter how I feel about shipping. I just have to deliver as promised. It is a business after all, and customer service is important to any business person. It's important enough to me that a couple years ago I set a goal. I said, this year I'm going to have I'm going to have phenomenal customer service. And not even 2 weeks later, that lofty goal met its first test. You see, the painting process is long. It takes tremendous amounts of effort and focus, sometimes weeks on end. But this is my life's work, and I've taken 24 years to hone in on that craft, even though it wasn't always that way. Like he said, I went to Mercer to be a physical therapist. I was a student athlete. Go Bears! But it wasn't until the very last semester of my senior year that I realized painting portraits makes my heart sing. Capturing someone's essence on a canvas, it gives my life meaning. So I put my heart and soul into it. But even then, life doesn't always turn out how you plan. You see, not even 2 weeks after I set that goal, not one, but 2 clients informed me that their artwork had arrived with holes in them. And I had strained to create 2 beautiful portraits, so the thought of them being punctured, it broke my heart. It felt like somebody was punching a hole through my purpose, my mission. But then a voice came to my head and said, this is your opportunity. You say you wanted great customer service, well, here's your chance. What are you going to do when there's a grievance? What's your return policy, Caleb? Better yet, what are you going to do when the problem's outside your control? That's what clients are going to remember most anyways. So I made the decision to give refunds to both clients because I realized that situation was a gift, the gift of adversity. And not only that, but I used that opportunity to deepen my relationship with my clients. You see, both of them have come back from multiple paintings since. This entire experience, it had an effect on me. Not just about how I felt about my life, my clients, or even my business, but I really contemplated life and the lens through which I viewed it. You see, sunny days are beautiful and everybody loves them, but it takes rain for grass to grow. And in that same breath, critical moments of adversity provide us unique opportunities to drive positive momentum. After all, embracing meaningful hardships is how society evolves. Look at the civil rights movement here in the South. That was a tumultuous storm through which we had to endure, but in the midst of that despair, we learned acceptance and we learned forgiveness. And thousands answered the call, and our country is better for it today. It was a difficult time, but it was a transformative time. You see, the tragic murder of Emmett Till in Mississippi, it sparked Rosa Parks' initiative in Montgomery. Heightened tensions in Birmingham, Alabama excited national attention, and Washington, D.C. had no choice but to address civil rights. And not only that, but key voting rights legislation was enacted in response to continuing demonstrations in Selma, Alabama, like Bloody Sunday. See, adversity is tough, it's painful, it's not always pretty, and it can rock you to your core. And the South has seen plenty, but we've also seen what's possible when we allow adversity to fuel our resolve. And look at where our country is now. We're as divided as we've been since. We want peace, we want equality, forgiveness, accountability, some semblance of unity. But in order to reach that end, we have to see the space between us as an opportunity for growth, even though all we may see is the difficulty, the adversity. But those difficult conversations and those uncomfortable interactions, those are the road through which we become one. That's how we hold ourselves accountable. That's how we demonstrate empathy. That's how we get to know people who are different than us. And it's easy to say, well, let's let the tensions die down. Let's wait till everything's a little more cool. Well, the perfect conditions will never come. We can't avoid the tough work. After all, the tough work is the gift. Now, I'm not saying we should seek out pain in our lives, but we have to understand that some degree of suffering is unavoidable. And since we can't avoid it, we have to dedicate our lives to embracing the meaningful struggles with courage. Because out of the gift of adversity, we get stronger individuals who build a better world. And not only that, but we cultivate confidence, compassion, acceptance, and love. So there's an old story about a farmer who had this old goat, and everywhere the farmer would go, he would take the goat along with him. Well, one day, the farmer decided he's going to go into town, and he's going to leave his friend tied up in the backyard. Now, I know not everybody might be from Savannah, Georgia tonight, but we have what you call an old dug well in the backyard. And while the goat was grazing in the backyard, he accidentally slipped and fell into the well. And when the farmer got back, he looked, he's searching, and eventually he found his friend down at the bottom of the well. And so he tried everything he could, but everything he tried failed. So, with tears in his eyes, he decided, at least I can give my friend a proper burial. So he goes to the barn, he gets a shovel, and he begins to throw dirt down onto the goat. But little did he know there was a miracle happening. See, the goat had a few tricks of his own. So every time that the farmer would throw the dirt down into the goat would shake it off and pack it under his feet. See, I think you understand. He would throw the dirt down into the goat, and he would shake it off and pack it under his feet, and he began to get higher. And he rose until he was able to step out on dry land. And we could be the goat. When we learn to embrace the dirt that's thrown at us, when we look at adversity as a stepping stone for growth, we can ascend to heights we never imagined. We can unify our country. We can improve customer service. But most of all, we can make the world a better place. We all set out to paint a beautiful life full of joy, excitement, and love. But every once in a while, life comes and punches a hole through your masterpiece. You get sick, you lose a job, or you get your heart broken. So I shouldn't be on this stage today. 2019 has been one of the toughest years of my life. I had my psyche just shattered. I thought I was painting my picture. I was in the driver's seat, and life still came and punched a hole through me. I was depressed. I was physically sick and fragile. My friends didn't recognize me. I got behind on deadlines. I didn't paint for weeks. I didn't know if I'd make it. But then that same voice, it said, Caleb, this pain, it's a gift. It's here to teach you something, so use it. It's a gift. So I stepped back up to the easel of life. I learned from my mistakes. I began to grow. I'm living with renewed purpose. I don't walk the same way I used to walk. I took the dirt that was thrown at me, I shook it off, and I patted it under my feet, and I rose until I was able to step out on this stage and tell this story to you. A wiser, better, and healthier Caleb. Life is messy, and there's no avoiding it. But when we learn to embrace it, the adversity and the triumphs, the agony and the ecstasy, when we learn to embrace it with courage, gratitude, and love, you can turn that mess into a masterpiece. A beautiful life fit for a museum.